Skip Bayless, Secret Love Life, Lifestyle, Biography, Family. It's hard to recall a time when Skip Bayless was not on television. His career prospered decades before he became a TV success. Bayless demonstrated what it meant to be both celebrated and controversial. He's the sort that never holds back, a trait that served him well throughout his career. Even though it's evident that Bayless enjoys what he does, you'd think that with such a large following and the media attention he's had over the years, we'd hear more about his personal life. So stay tuned in today's video because we're about to take a peek at his personal life and why he's the way he is, bashing on LeBron James every chance he gets.
LeBron James is the most protected superstar in sports history, that he was allowed to get away with what he did yesterday.
Early life. John Edward Bayless II was born in Oklahoma City on December 4th, 1951. He came from a famous family, since his parents owned and operated a local barbecue restaurant called Hickory House. Bayless had no desire to pursue the family culinary business, but his brother, the renowned restaurateur and celebrity chef Rick Bayless, did. His father gave him the name Skip as a simple expression of love. His father called his mother the same name, which was an abbreviation for Skipper of the Ship. Skip Bayless's parents never used to address him by his real name, John. It didn't affect him, and his name was formally changed to Skip when he became an adult. Whatever one thinks of Fox Sports host Skip Bayless, it's difficult to imagine what he went through as a kid. Bayless, who has spoken about his father several times on TV, isn't afraid to talk about his father's terrible and abusive background. His father was an alcoholic who used physical violence on him, and his mother never showed him the affection every child deserves. A difficult childhood. I was raised by an evil creep of an alcoholic father and a self-absorbed mother who eventually fell to the bottom of the bottle herself, Bayless wrote on his 67th birthday in a Facebook post. Not once did either parent ever ask how I was doing in sports or school or tell me that they loved me, he stated on air. Before discovering his love of sports or any type of escape, Bayless had to cope with his drunken and violent father, John Bayless, daily. According to Skip, he had to do all he could to avoid his father because he would be verbally and physically abused if he didn't. Bayless also stated that every week he would find a way to spend the weekend at a friend's house simply to escape his father. Worst of all, his mother never protected him and never looked for Skip while he was out of the house. Skip and his younger brother Rick Bayless didn't have a strong bond since they didn't get along in their family. Journalism. As a child, Skip had an interest in athletics and became an athlete. Throughout his time in high school, he participated in baseball and basketball. He also ended up contributing to the sports section of the school newspaper. Bayless won a scholarship to Vanderbilt University, where he earned Bachelor of Arts degrees in English and History in 1974. During his time at Vanderbilt, he served as sports editor of the university student newspaper and interned at the largest daily newspaper in the Oklahoma City metro region. Bayless moved to South Florida after graduation to work for the Miami Herald. Bayless didn't stay in Miami for long, as he relocated to Los Angeles to work for the Los Angeles Times in 1976. He covered sports for both papers, and at the age of 26, he received his first award, the Eclipse Award for Outstanding Newspaper Writing. At this point, Bayless relocated once more, this time to the Dallas Times-Herald, a newspaper in a different city. During his time there, Bayless earned several awards for his contributions to sports journalism. Career. Skip credits First Take with helping him curate his inane daily routine, which allows him to, as he loves to say, dominate the debate desk. Skip recalls having to get up at 5 a.m. every day to conduct the program for ESPN when it was produced in New York. And he stayed with it all these years, even now that he lives in Los Angeles, which is 3 hours behind East Coast time. He says, "Every clock in the house is on East Coast time, because I try to trick my mind into thinking it's 5 o'clock when it's 2 o'clock. Yes, this maniac does get up at 2 a.m. every day of the week to work out and prepare for the performance. Skip's path to TV fame began in 2003 when he hosted the debate show Cold Pizza. However, after only 3 seasons, the show was renamed as what is now known as ESPN's flagship show, First Take. But it wasn't until 2012 that ESPN concluded that Stephen A. Smith and Skip were a match made in entertainment heaven. Beginning in 2012, when Skip and Stephen A. joined the stage on live television regularly, First Take's ratings skyrocketed. Skip rose to prominence on television during his time on First Take. And that's when Skip got famous for criticizing players who lacked the clutch gene in basketball and applauding those who did, which unsurprisingly sparked a firestorm among fans and viewers and helped Skip become possibly the most known figure in all of sports media. Skip's already successful career took another step forward in 2016 when he was approached with the opportunity to become the face of Fox Sports and the legendary debate show Undisputed, which premiered in September 2016, now with his latest partner in crime, Shannon Sharpe. Skip's recently launched his podcast, The Skip Bayless Show, in which he shares his unedited, unfiltered ideas and observations that he says he doesn't get the chance to discuss or speak about live on Undisputed. It's a concept Skip came up with after many of his Skip Rides the Troller Coaster episodes received a lot of attention because, well, he's Skip, and everyone wants to understand further about his psycho mentality. Contracts. Although it's unclear how much money Skip was promised when he originally joined ESPN to do Cold Pizza and later First Take, Skip did provide us some insight into his early contracts a few years ago. When asked about his contracts at ESPN in an earlier interview, Skip stated, "Quick point of order, I did not make a ton of money at ESPN. By what I was giving them, I was poorly paid. I was the most underpaid on-air talent at ESPN for 12 years. That's my opinion. Not, in the end, they came around, but that went on for a long time." When Skip's contract at ESPN expired in 2016, the network allegedly wanted to get him back and maintain his hugely successful TV collaboration with Stephen A. But he believed the chance was calling him somewhere else. And, well, more money. Fox Sports outdid ESPN by presenting Skip with a 4-year, nearly $20 million offer sheet, which he happily accepted. When Skip's deal ended in September 2020, Fox Sports offered him another 4-year agreement for more than $32 million. Fitness and diet. Skip continues to run early on Sunday mornings, the 8-mile route around the Fox property in West Los Angeles where they film the show daily. He runs the 8th mile faster than the previous 7 because he competes with himself. His small-scale running competition is just that. He exercises on the treadmill for 3 days, the exercise bike, and then goes outside for 1 day. He therefore exercises frequently, maybe more so than the majority of people, although he avoids long-distance running. He stayed at the Residence Inn in Southington, Connecticut, near Bristol, for 10 years while working at ESPN. He did this since his wife had a great career in New York City, and they had a property at 54th and 8th Avenue. He would return on Friday, and then return to the Residence Inn on Sunday evening. He retained his suite at the residence and just called the Chinese restaurant because they knew who he was and what he liked. He'd order steamed chicken and broccoli, as well as white rice. His secret love life. Skip Bayless is obsessed with sports, whereas his wife, Ernestine Sclafani, is not even close to being a sports lover. Despite this, they fell in love, were hitched, and now enjoy a successful and content marriage. Sclafani even penned a book in 2019 on her connection to Bayless and their courtship, Balls: How to Keep Your Relationship Alive When You Live with a Sports-Obsessed Guy. When actor Kevin Dillon was being interviewed by Skip Bayless on the ESPN program Cold Pizza in 2005, Ernestine Sclafani was working for a famous PR firm. Bayless dashed by the door as Sclafani was waiting for her customer in the green room. A glance at Sclafani halted him in his tracks, at least long enough for him to stammer an introduction and obtain her card before he was gone again. He had been using the commercial break to get some notes from his dressing area. Despite their brief initial encounter, Bayless fell in love. Based on how he discusses his life outside of athletics on his podcast, Bayless appears to be enjoying a happier life. He may not be the most entertaining sports figure to watch, but love or loathe him, it's comforting to know that he's no longer subjected to abuse and harassment.